Yeah, I know. I set it up through there. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the live hangout and model show for Red Dragon Model Works and Styrene Syndicate, hosted by yours truly, Mick, over here at Tiny Admiral Models. And today we have the Suncoast Hobbyist with us, and hopefully some of these other regular savages will come in as we go along. So,
otherwise, we're kind of moderating each other, I guess.
Yeah. You can't say that. Yes, I can. I'm a moderator. Shit.
So am I. And I said you can't. Aha.
But Gil is off sick this week, so we're wishing him a speedy recovery. Poor guy got sick on his birthday and hasn't recovered since. Of all the times to get sick, though, that sucks.
Yeah. But it's going around, you know.
Happy birthday.
You know, he's got his grandson with him. And, you know, my daughter comes home from school like a petri dish as well.
Oh, yeah, any of us that have kids, we know what that's like.
Doesn't take much.
God knows Liam's come home with some interesting ailments over the years.
Oh my God. Josh asked, whose channel? I'll be watching, then jump on when I can. And I wrote Mixed Tiny Admiral, and that just didn't sound right.
Hey, leave my Admiral out of this, regardless of its size. Was that old saying from when I was younger? May not be able to go deep, but I can still bang the hell out of the sides.
Oh, jeez, guys.
And there goes our PG rating.
Yeah. James Wapell says he's going to be setting some stuff up and then he'll try and come in. That'll be good.
One of these days, I'm going to have to make it to one of those shows that they're doing all the time. See if they actually recognize me not on camera. I mean, if I don't shave the beard and cut the hair, I'm pretty sure they'll know who I am because there's only so many people running around that look like Grizzly Adams with a ball cap on.
Yeah.
You know? It's getting warmer, though. It's getting time.
Yeah.
Do my yearly haircut and trim down the sides. In the comments, we have Jeffrey Baker's watching and says hello. Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going?
I should reopen those up now, shouldn't I? Yes. Would be helpful. The syndicate wanted to work. Come on. Kim.
I finally got, I think I've got the putty work where I need it to be, and I need to get a proper scribing tool. Using the back end of a X-Acto blade doesn't quite do it. Luckily, they're, you know, not going to be too readily visible by the time I get everything else done.
Yeah.
For those watching, I'm building a 1:357 or 1:350 scale SMS Emden German light cruiser. Doing another beta test for scale decks for their wooden deck for this kit. Immediately after that, I will be doing another, but without the photo etch, because he's got a deck designed for use with photo etch and a deck designed for use with the kit parts. So, and I think when I'm done, I'll keep the one with the photo etch, and the other one I might just give to Liam for a bath toy.
There you go.
because I don't need two of them kicking around.
Well, you could, you know, well, I was going to say he might want it back, but then again, that's sending it back into the States, and that's all that money.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't want the model. He doesn't ever actually want the models. All he wants is pictures, my feedback on the product.
Mhm.
That's first and foremost as a beta tester. That's the whole main point of the thing, is to get feedback. If something doesn't fit right, he needs to know that before he goes and prints up, like, a gross of them or something.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, the models themselves I keep. I should see if my downstairs neighbor wants to buy that Yamato.
Jeez.
He didn't want to pay $3,000 for the 1 to 200 scale Bismarck with all the bells and whistles, but I don't know. We'll see. Problem is, if I sell them when I'm done, I have to sell local.
Yeah. You don't want to be shipping that stuff out, especially not.
I am nowhere near in the headspace to want to be designing crating that'll keep that sucker in one piece.
They'll still break it.
Please play again. Damn Tim Hortons. Roll up the rim cups. Good thing they only do it. Good thing they only do it for a limited time each year. Otherwise, I'd be pissed off with them constantly.
And Jeffrey Barker is the only one watching right now. So, Jeff, I am working on a 1/35th scale SAS Commando Jeep. And
that's really coming along good too, dude.
Thank you. That's not the camera I want to zoom in on. Okay, we're zoomed in on this. Okay. So here, we've finally added in some of the interior parts, the ammo boxes, steering wheel, and it's funny, on my software for doing dual screen, it's backwards, so it looks like I'm holding an actual English version of the Jeep, but then I see it's actually shown properly on the actual transmission. So I'm like, okay, it's right. But I'm gonna weather it. Got this Vallejo. Hold on. My wet palette. Vallejo weathering set for green vehicles, which Hobby Lobby was nice enough to put on reduced clearance for $4.49 from $18. And it comes with everything you need to do what they say to do on the back of the thing. I don't believe them, but we'll see. Comes with little bottles of model color and pigment binder, pigment that's in light sienna. So I'll do tires, undercarriage for that. And pretty much I'm kind of happy with the way the rest of it turned out. I'll just do a little gunking up of the body, and that's it. This other stuff here I gotta, hold on a second. There we go. This stuff right here is extra magazines and another extra toolkit I'm gonna stack it up on the seat. Basically, the whole premise of this build is that it's back in the camp getting fixed, because on the front I went and put bullet holes, even the glass is cracked, the light in front of the glass has got a bullet hole in it. But basically the like the front light on the hood is pristine. So I was telling the guys the other night, I'm like, yeah, well, it got replaced already. They're still working on it.
Yeah.
So aside from that, yeah, it's been a fun little build. It really has. I've just been taking my time with it, and at first I thought 135 was going to make me go blind, but no, it's actually been really, really good. And then after that, I'm actually going to. I saw this kit the other night I had in my stash. I was going to do a Tamiya kit, but I'm going to do this 148 Henry HD1.
Nice.
It's got like 5 parts to it, and just for fun, because I opened it up, I looked at it, I'm like, you know something? It's got this little tiny like 3-inch fuselage, and I'm looking, I'm going, that actually looks fun. It actually looks like it'd be interesting.
So I have just discovered something new.
Oh dear God!
I could not sit at your computer if I've been smoking my green stuff.
And that is why.
Because I'm sitting here watching the LEDs change color and I'm getting fixated and I'm not even been smoking today. I had an LED Christmas tree, or not an LED, sorry, fiber optic Christmas tree. Used to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole tree had one light bulb down in the base. All the fiber optics ran from the base in a big bundle up to the individual branches, and
Mm-hmm.
and it had the one light with a wheel of different colored shapes on clear acetate. So as it slowly rotated, whatever bundle, say this one bundle that goes to this branch,
Mm-hmm.
happens to be under the green, and then as it changes to a different area, the color will change, very much like your keyboard's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't do it all uniform all over the tree. There'd be different areas of the tree fading in and out of different colors, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And man, I used to get right fried and just sit there staring at the Christmas tree like, whoa, dude.
See that too.
So yeah, needless to say, Mick could not own such a keyboard. I'd never get anything done. I'd sit down to post something and I'd be like, 2 hours later, Tammy come in and like, what are you doing? Oh, what? Oh, before my screen timed out, I was posting something. Just be like, nope, 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 Mick can't use that. Fine.
You can go ahead and take me your presentation.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I did that.
Making me feel watched.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, don't come on now, me.
No, my computer. There we go.
There you go. It's funny, a friend of mine that I grew up with, she's from her family is from Ecuador. She was born there and moved up to Long Island years ago. And she was posting something in Spanish, and she put up this little oh god, little sticker that you put on one of the posts, and it says Festa. And I go, yes, what can I do for you? She writes back, she's like, I love you, you're awesome. I'm like, well, I'm like Beetlejuice, you said my name and here I am.
Vinny used to be like that back when he was in the hangouts all the time. If you said his name like more than 3 times, he'd pop in eventually.
Yeah. Thinking and debating. Where am I putting all this crap? I don't have to put it all in, obviously, but I want to put some of it. Hmm.
Oh, thank God for diamond files. That's all I've got to say. I've said before how, you can do good photo etch work without all the fancy tools.
Mm-hmm.
I will say certain things are absolutely indispensable. You cannot do good photo etch without. One of which is either a good diamond file or a sanding stick that's really, really smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend a diamond file because a sanding stick will end up getting torn apart after a while on these.
Oh, yeah.
Set of tweezers and a good X-Acto knife and something to cut on. Even if you can't afford the fancy cutting boards, an old CD or DVD that you don't use anymore would work. Used to be great back in the day, back when you'd get like America Online would send you a disc in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And all you had to do to get their service was put it in your computer and run it.
Yeah, it's just like a virus.
Those were great because you saved those up and you always had like, clear acrylic to make stuff out of or to use as a cutting board or something like that. If AOL had any idea, I mean, they were even shipping up here in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
at the time anyway. This is back in the 90s. You save those up, man. Yeah, I wonder if AOL ever realized that most of those discs ended up getting used by guys like me for completely different stuff. Lots of Scotch. How you doing, brother? Good to see you there. He says, happy Friday to those of you that aren't checking the comments.
I'm checking them.
Well, I know you are.
I'm the only person here.
Some people watch and they don't even pay attention to the comments, so they're just watching the show.
Yeah.
Although I'm probably pretty boring to stare at without the comments going.
Yeah. I would say probably so.
One of these days, I'm gonna plan a broadcast of like a couple of hours or something, and it's just gonna be me staring at the camera like this.
Visions the first time we ever went on there, and there's that guy smoking.
Oh yeah, that was bizarre. I don't know where they were coming in from. Used to get people that would pop into the live hangouts. Hey Josh, now I only put the hangouts links into certain places, so I don't know where the hell they were getting in.
Mm.
But I'm here one night, sitting here just waiting for people to come into the hangout. It wasn't live or anything at that point. And this guy comes in, and I says, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome to my hangout. Are you with the Styrene Syndicate or Red Dragon Model Works?" And he goes, no, speak English. And then he just stood there staring at the camera, smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, this guy was dressed to the nines, like he's in like a 3-piece suit, the whole 9 yards, right? Looked a little like the most interesting man in the world from the beer commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Stay thirsty, my friends. Only he didn't speak English, and he's sitting there just. And that's all he was doing, is sitting there smoking cigarettes, staring at the camera. And then this South American girl came in, looked like a Venezuelan prostitute. And him and her just start back and forth in Spanish, and I couldn't follow any of it, right? And I'm just like, how are you guys getting in here? Because this is a private hangout. And then both of them are like, no speak English, and kept on. Because finally, I had to boot both of them out. And he's like, I don't know who the hell you are, but you're just not going to come in here and just take over the whole damn hangout. You know?
You to go. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And then for a while there was a kid that kept coming in, and he wasn't in the groups. And I'm like, well, do you realize this hangout's for our model group? Well, I got an invitation, and I'm not in any model group. All attitudey, like you had every right to be there, right? Like, well, I didn't invite you. Click. Bye.
I'm just bored, and if I get bored, I'll go on somewhere else.
No, that was someone different.
Oh, okay.
Josh says that video would break YouTube. Somehow I think me staring at the camera is not going to break YouTube. It might creep some people out.
Little children nightmares.
You're not helping, dear. Keep quiet. No one wants to hear your bathroom conversations broadcast all over the world. We're live. Now she's going to come out and throw something at me. Watch.
Probably. Coming up the back. Look out, look out. Here she comes. Here she comes. At least I can read the eyes in the back of your head. Oh, now she's off camera. You're on your own.
She can't even walk to her seat. Obviously, she's not going to throw anything at me. She's not coordinated enough.
My aim is a lot better sitting down.
With the recycle bin in the way,
Hey, it can be moved.
you're still going to have to guesstimate the range.
Right?
I understand how artillery works. Do you really want to get into there?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm better at judging trajectory than you are.
Yeah, but nobody can see if you hit me.
Well, they'll hear it. Everything I've got over here is really sharp.
That's okay. What I got over here is heavy.
Make sure you use one of those,
Not worried.
make sure you use one of those titanium blades I sent you. Go for the bone. Go for the bone. It's in the bone.
I'm going back to my book now.
Okay.
Toodles.
We should talk of Venezuelan prostitutes.
Hey, those Venezuelan prostitutes are good for a laugh.
Pretty much, yeah.
Especially the midgets.
Little people. Little people. Not midgets. Let us be sensitive and nice. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, whatever you want to call them, they sure make porn a lot funnier. But you know.
Oh goodness.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Welcome, welcome.
So it looks like the Canadians are taking over. You got me and Mike. You got me and Mike, and Brian's half Canadian. So
I am? When did I get that honorary?
oh no, I'm thinking of Eric. Sorry,
I'm not half Canadian.
I'm thinking of Eric. Eric Eskew.
Oh, him. Yes, we haven't seen him in ages. Yes.
Yeah, he's half Canadian. I don't know. Lately, he's been posting every day. He posts about I really wish I had this, and then he'd name a food item. Yesterday, I could really do with some fish and chips. So I said, so make some. He says, can't. I says, well, I guess you're out of luck then.
Well, why doesn't he just go upstairs to his mom's fridge?
Well, I was tempted to say that, but I didn't want to piss him off too much, you know.
What's he to get pissed off? He lives in the basement. You know, I mean, accept it. You do. So, oh well. Go read the fridge. Hey, James.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, James, how's it going?
Sounds like everybody's doing better than Gilbert there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
poor guy got it right on his birthday too. It kicked him. It was starting to hit him the night before, and then his birthday came and he woke up just absolutely toxic.
So is patient zero the little biological weapon with feet, or do you think he got it somewhere else?
We're pretty sure it came from Thorin.
I'm telling you, one day the United Nations is going to recognize where the true threat lies, and they're going to say, no, you cannot weaponize children under 10. You cannot put them on school buses and send them to field trips to random countries that you wish to conquer.
Well, why not?
They come there in the name of peace and everything else, and the next thing you know, the tanks are rolling into town with absolutely zero opposition.
Well, you know, sometimes parents just need a goddamn break, okay? So if we can load them up on a bus, send them to a country, and then get them all sick, I say go for it. It's a learning experience for the kids. It really is. I mean, see the world.
Well, they see the world. Kids want to change the world, right? They can change it in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Because half the country will be down for the count.
That's it. Go breathe on them, and then come back.
Either that or various nations start to like hone in. Okay, you know, our kids are there. We specialize in this disease. Like this nation's going to do this one. This one's going to do this one. So then they start trying to work up counter immunizations and stuff. That's what the whole anti-vaxxer thing is about. That's actually countries trying to weaponize their kids' diseases.
Oh, don't get me started on them.
Oh, God.
Don't get me started on them, man. I have a hate on for anti-vaxxers.
And just the NBA is on tonight. I keep thinking of, oh gosh, well, Steph Curry. And now he claims he was joking around when he said that the moon landings were a hoax. But one of the world's most famous flat earthers is Kyrie Irving of the Celtics. I mean, he's not just joking around on a podcast. He believes the earth is flat. And for a guy that probably has spent, what would you say, during his NBA career, 10% of his life on a plane, if not more, at 35,000 feet.
Where you can clearly see the curvature of the earth.
You can see it from the freaking Sears Tower. I can see it from a random hilltop. So I'm not quite sure what he's seeing. And he's supposed to be like this well-versed NBA guy or something like that. And I'm thinking, well, that's not the most positive influence for the kiddies.
Obviously, they're not smoking the right stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're American. That's they haven't legalized on a
Hey.
They haven't legalized on a national level yet, so they kind of can't smoke the good stuff.
Hey. Don't you know war on drugs is only in other countries, not us?
Yeah.
There you go.
So did you make the choice on the next project? Is it the Panzer II, or is it what would it be the other one?
It is going to be actually a hangout by Edward HD1. It is. Let me zoom out here so I can not knock everything over in person. So you can see. Zoom out. Zoom. Okay. It's an Edward hangout HD1. It's a 1/48 scale.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's nice.
Ah.
I was looking at it last night because I was trying to get my daughter to start. She wanted to build something, but we couldn't settle on something. And then I looked at this thing. It's got like 10 parts total. But World War One.
I love that 1/48 scale. It's so neat, and I keep finding more and more things in that scale. It seems, I don't know, that's a more recent thing than 148. It seems like 172nd and 135th kind of were always around and always strong.
Well, yes and no. I mean, really, you can blame Tamiya for the 1 to 35th.
There's usually 132nd. That's the big one.
Yeah, it used to be 1 to 32nd, and then Tamiya decided we're going to do a whole series, all these kits, but we're going to do them in 1 to 35 scale.
That's what got Panzer. It's 1 to 35th.
Of course, them being Tamiya, everyone just followed suit rather than try to gainsay it.
Now, is Hasegawa an offshoot of Tamiya? Because they make a lot of 148 scale planes, it seems.
I'm not too sure. I don't think so. Josh Rysdom says,
That's fired.
yeah, that's why I have an extra big bottle of vitamin C. And lots of Scotch says, shots fired.
Yeah, those Canadians getting uppity up there again. It's okay.
Don't make me burn down the White House again, okay?
Please, don't just sacrifice the moose and leave it on the front door of your country.
And with the division that you've got going on down there right now, I'm not saying anything about the politics one direction or the other, but with how divisive everything is, half the people out there right now are going, yeah, burn it. And the other half the people are going, you fucker.
Yeah, you're going to get some comments.
That's me, little anarchist.
I know we're supposed to be all divided and all this other kind of stuff, but I seem to remember the 70s when I was a kid. And when I look back at that, I said the 70s were, this is like a picnic compared to what the 70s were. I mean, this is nothing. And then you take the 60s before that, where every other week somebody's getting assassinated.
Riots. Oh, yeah, the 60s were a fun time. Glad I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, I came into the world in 72.
Man, look at all these youngins around here.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know anything.
I'm a history student. I usually know more than the people who live through the shit.
The woes we have seen.
People seem to try and blame my entry into the world in 68 for all that kind of stuff. They say some spawn was never supposed to happen. And then I came out into the world at 9 pounds, 6 ounces. And the world ain't never been the same since.
Yeah, I came out 10 even. My mother's never been the same since.
Yeah, but she doubles as a bowling ball return on the weekends.
Oh, you know, if that hadn't come from anybody else.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's you, man. I get the joke. If that hadn't been anybody else.
Yeah, the filter was totally off for that one.
Just know not everybody can say that and survive, you know?
Oh, that was good.
Oh, see, now I'm really, really wishing I had that quick disconnect I ordered was universal. Because getting into this one tight corner would be perfect for that chrome.
Yeah, give it time.
Another 2 weeks and another week after this weekend, and I can order my air hose. So I'll order an Iwata air hose because that should fit the universal that you sent.
Yes, that will.
If it doesn't, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send a private message to Ken.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, look.
What the hell's wrong with
I've got a chrome here. I also have a However, my hose and current sit-up is all patch. Just bill me for the goddamn adapter parts I need and send them. Just you know what? Send me a bill. Let me know what I need to pay it. It's all good. I don't care how much it is.
They're teasing me, damn it. These seats are too nice. I don't know what to do to them though. I got into the color green I want them, but they need weathering. And it's just not. Let me zoom it in. Zoom, 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 boom, boom. Okay.
Maybe dry brushing around the edges with a slightly lighter green, make it look like it's been like rubbing, fading, you know?
Yeah. I'm thinking of putting blood on them. Maybe a bullet hole in one.
Oh, that'd work. Mind you, there are some people in the hobby that are a little sensitive about that. I saw a vignette that someone built, and it had one guy that was getting shot,
Yeah.
right? Everyone freaked out
Yeah.
because you can depict battle scenes, but nobody's allowed to be,
Yeah.
to a certain segment of the population, blood in a model is just a no-no.
Well, like I said, when I started building this is the Jeep has come back in from the field. It's had some repairs made. It's in the process of getting reloaded to go back out. So who's to say that the gunner who wasn't driving, there's a fine bullet hole through the glass right in front of his head. Who's to say there wasn't a couple of man down in moments?
Yeah.
Piper down, Piper down. We have a Piper down. He's all right. Give him some air.
He's a piper. Give him a shot of whiskey. He'll be back up in no time.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's one of the funniest movies ever. So I think I married an axe murderer.
Yep.
Rod Stewart on bagpipes. So you think I'm sexy? Yeah. I was playing Rod. Matter of fact, I was playing that in the morning. Ava had got up to go to school, and I don't know what it was, but for some odd reason, we were talking about music, and then I was like, no. I was like, you need to hear. She goes, well, I said, Rod Stewart. That's who. I said, here. And I went and I found it, and I was going to put on Maggie May, and I'm like, no, let's just have some fun with this. And I put on So You Think I'm Sexy, and she's like, oh my god. And I mean, I'm watching the video, and it's on, totally that era with hot pants and everything, and it was just fun. It really was. And she's just like, that's actually really cool. I was like, Rod Stewart is one of the best singers in the world ever. That's it. I said, you know what he used to do for a living? She was what? I said, he used to dig graves. I was like, really? Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody comes out of high school and goes right into music.
Yeah.
I get a laugh out of Paul Hogan, the actor.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks he's the quintessential Australian, and most of the Aussies I know can't stand them. They're like, that is not a bushy. That is not a bushman. That is a bridge painter. It's a walking stereotype. Because he was, before he got into acting, he worked on the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a year to paint that bridge. So by the time you get to the other end,
you start over.
You go to the other side and you start over. So literally that's day in and day out, every working day of the year for years. That's what he did, is he painting a bridge. Painting a bridge.
Guaranteed income.
There is no shame in that.
I mean, I think, hey, kudos to him. I mean, he took every negative stereotype Australians had and spun it into a career.
Yeah.
Kudos to him, man.
Let them sit there and bitch. He's the one with the millions in the bank from the movie. Model wash. Colors. And more colors. What are you working on here tonight, James?
Whole bunch of things. I think I got about 20 miniatures sitting here on the pallet from about 5 different companies, and then tons of the Song of Ice and Fire stuff. I'll probably be actually up all night filming more tutorials and stuff, since Adepticon is hurtling towards us at a like 70 bazillion miles an hour, unfortunately.
Yeah, you gotta hate the way time goes like that. I've got all the time in the world. Then you look down the clock. Oh shit, I'm late.
And if anything else, on top of that, I lose an hour on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'll tell you, I was lucky. I was lucky as hell that I left the house when I did this morning. If I had have been 30 seconds later, Liam would have missed his bus.
Oh geez.
And I left at the right time. They got a new bus driver to fill in for a day.
Mm.
And he's supposed to leave that stop down there at 25 after.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, 20 after. I get to the corner to turn around to go down that street, and here comes the bus.
Here comes.
We wave him down frantically. He stops. He says, "Are you for my last stop?" I says, "Yeah, and you're a little early, don't you think?" He says, "Oh, well," he looks at us. I says, "Check your schedule. You're not supposed to leave till 8:25. Well, yeah. I says, "And what time is it?" He goes, 8:20. I says, "Yeah, so my kid almost missed school because you couldn't be bothered to wait until you're supposed to leave." Boy, are you ever goddamn lucky I flagged you down, because there definitely would have been a complaint in on that one.
Now you just totally blown my whole perspective on Canadians, because you should have been apologizing like both of you back and forth at least 20 times.
No, the apology thing only goes so far, and usually it has to do with an inanimate object.
I mean, I
We
should have seen the both of
to
you.
other people when we feel there's something to say sorry for. We bump into a lamppost and we'll say, "Oh, sorry," and then realize, "Oh shit, it's a lamppost."
I mean, I could see the two. I mean, I could see Liam missing school because the two of you going back and forth. I'm sorry. No, well, I'm sorry. You should have waited. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't wait. Well, then, I'm sorry. You should have waited. And then Liam's just sitting there looking at both of you, going, "Dear God."
And in the end, nobody apologizes to the giraffe.
That's it. That's
That poor giraffe.
That's what we need. We need an animation of a milk carton, and whoever's not here, that's usually here, we put their face on and go, "Where's Chris?"
People have forgotten what that reference means.
Well, no,
You know what
we just put the giraffe on the milk carton.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, just put the giraffe on the milk carton with Chris's name. Or you've got Photoshop. Just get a picture of Chris, and then a Photoshop in a giraffe behind him photobombing the picture, Chris is probably watching this going, "You guys are assholes. That's why I'm not coming in."
And my response would be, would you expect anything less from us?
And Josh asks, "So what's everyone building?" Well, we've already heard from James just now.
The same damn shit we were building last week.
Yeah. Brian and I already talked about what we were building, but I guess Josh wasn't there. I'm working on the 1 to 350 Emden, and Brian's working on his Jeep.
Commando.
What we don't know about is Mike over here.
Fiddling with a Bandai TIE fighter.
Right on.
There you go.
There's a 1/350 Emden. Holy smokes! And it's not $500 like the 1/48 scale version.
It can be. Go on.
1 to 350. It's only this long. How much can they charge, right?
Well, the 1/700 scale was all resin, brass etch. I mean, it was just.
That'd be why. Yeah.
It was not a kit. It was more like a sculpture.
Now I have the big Ed set to go with it. Well, no, it's not really the big Ed. It's parts 1 and 2 of the Edwards set, which really gets me because they didn't replace the masts. That's the one thing they didn't do. They replaced the whole superstructure, all of it. Everything from the decks up is brass, except for the masts. The one place that really needs the added fortitude, What? Nope. We'll drive them nuts putting together deck cabins out of brass, and then we'll drive them even more nuts because once they rig it, all their masts are going to warp in. You know. Sometimes I swear they do this stuff on purpose.
Of course.
That's interesting. I got a cigarette ready to go so I can go have a smoke and set it down with my lighter, and then proceeded to pull out another cigarette and start getting it ready to go.
And here you were going to quit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, after the incidents of 2 weeks ago, I decided that I'm going to wait until things are a little more settled.
Okay.
I shall be right back.
We'll still be here.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past just to quickly make a change to a different channel just to make me wonder.
Oh, that joke is so not worth the effort.
It depends what kind of response you get.
Yeah, I'll be sitting here by myself. That's the response I'll get.
Let's face it, if I have a total meltdown, it's so worth it.
Oh, just go smoke your damn cigarette. Yeah. Actually, yeah, this Jeep's getting done tonight. I'm satisfied that I'm just going to do the weathering tonight, and I just got a couple of tactical things to put on it, and that's it. I have fulfilled my duty to God and country with this damn thing, and I'm done.
Is there a chair for the guy in the back with the double machine guns?
No, that was supposed to be either you were standing, you were like crouching in the back, or you were actually standing behind the Jeep.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now, mind you, this is SAS. So this is the British. This is not the Americans. The American version really just had a pole in the middle of the back, and there was a guy standing back there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it also didn't have the massive fuel tanks in the back. For the
Right.
American. They just said, "Screw it, you get stuck. Oh well, walk."
So what, this was a long range patrol?
I think this was just an airfield car because the SAS was it was an airfield protection car.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, this sucker was definitely overkill. 550s plus the one guy. Plus there was a Ren light machine gun, a Bren light machine gun, plus another almost Uzi like light machine gun.
Oh jeez.
I mean, it came with. I have four magazines left. There's one in there. There's 1, 2, 3 boxes of magazines, and these are the 30 or 50 drum magazines.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they planned on just sitting there and shooting at shit for like an hour or something. I don't know.
You can never have too much.
No. Unless that fighter you're shooting at has bigger bullets and happens to just knock your head off your shoulders, then it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Joe McCaslin says, let's see, hang out with the old farts or watch Wonder Woman. That's a tough call.
Which means, well, no, it's Joe. So he's going to go
I'm
with the old
tempted to
farts.
leave these old farts here and go watch Wonder Woman, but Brian's like, I will mail you a bag of dicks. I swear to God, I will.
I will pay the international shipping for that one. Yes, indeed. All right. 9:30.
What they need to do is what Amazon did, where they have like an Amazon US and an Amazon Canada. Because then you could order it off the Canadian, and because it's going to someone in Canada, shouldn't be any international shipping.
Yeah, but then there's the conversion rate. It's like, for instance, I was sitting the other day, and I'm still, funny enough, a moderator for a shaving mug group. and it's cool. No, it used to be pretty big, and then about a year and a half ago, the owner of the group, and I've known him for years. He's in Canada. Yeah, he is in Canada. Not really a nice guy, and he just decided he'd had enough, and he just wanted to wind it down. He took it from like 1,500 people down to 300. He literally took the time to go through who hadn't commented in years, who hadn't done this, and pulled everybody out. So I'm sitting there, so I still get, when people post stuff, and I'm still an admin there, and I still check on things, but not like I used to. Yeah. And this one guy posts, is anybody selling? And the way he asked for it was, he asked for a feather shavette. Now, Feather Artist is a very professional razor used by barbers around the world. And I happen to have one that I've never used. I bought one. I got the blades for it, and we're talking like you can do surgery with this damn thing. It's so sharp. But the thing is, the blades are disposable. And I'm sitting there, and he's asking, and so I wrote to him. I said, "Did you mean a Feather Artist, SS?" And he goes, "Yes, that's what I'm looking for." So I'm like, "Well, I have one." I said I wasn't intended on selling it, but to be honest, I can't really use it because my hands are just too shaky, and I'm too worried to try and use it. I mean, I've got safety razors and really nice ones that I use when I do shave. So, how about this? I'll $90 US, and it's yours because it comes with blades, and it regularly sells originally for like 120.
Yeah.
So he comes back, he goes, US. He goes, that's 121 Canadian. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, well, I can't help you with that one. But, I was like, yeah, there's always that. So, because I said to him, I said, honestly, I mean, I just shipped an airbrush up to Canada, and it was $16. So, and trust me, the package was less than £1. So, I was like, I don't know what the problem is with the Canadian Postal Service, but they
suck.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
What I don't get is the way they work out where they take stuff to, because I have had stuff that literally they had to drive past my place to get to Montreal.
Yeah,
then
that's procedural.
Past my place to Toronto, and then from Toronto up to here.
Yeah, that's
it was already in Toronto once. Why didn't you just send it this way?
Because it has to go. It's regional hubs, and the hubs have to be the ones to distribute it. It's like that in the United States too. Like I know when I ship a package out to international, that's why your package almost gave me a fucking aneurysm. Okay, because the last thing I shipped up to you went right up, hit Miami, flew out, went to Toronto, boom, it's there. No, this thing, goes to Miami, goes to Opelika. Now, Opelika is like 30 minutes west of there. I mean, what the hell is it going to Opelika for? It's supposed to fly out. No, it went to West Palm Beach after that. What the hell's it doing in West Palm Beach? No, we're going to then go to Alabama. Really? Alabama. Okay. Next day, it's back in Miami. Oh, joy. Then it went to Canada. I was happy. You want to know why I wasn't happy the next day? Because it went back to fucking Miami. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there writing Gil every other day going, what the fuck is going on with this goddamn package? He's just laughing his ass off because I'm losing my fucking mind. And then when it hit Ontario the second time, and I'm like, why is it not going to Toronto? Like, whatever. And then it didn't get scanned for 2 days, and then it finally hit you. All those 2 days, I was just losing. I'm like, where's it showing up next? Gil's sitting there right. He goes, it's going to show up back in Alabama. I'm like, shut up. And Josh has snuck in. Welcome, Josh.
Yeah, I've
I
only
noticed
been in
that.
a couple minutes. I was just waiting for my, opportunity.
the thing is, on those seats, blood would not be red; it would be brown. Shit, if I get some putty, I can make some brain matter too. Why not? I think we'll just paint the seats and that's it.
What, a little Pulp Fiction?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a scene to make you remember.
My favorite is still the scene from Boondock Saints with the cat.
Oh yeah.
Is it dead? I don't know. It splattered all over your kitchen. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty dead.
There was a movie that just came out on Netflix with Mads Mikkelsen, and he plays an assassin who retires.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to remember the name. I posted on my wall. I said, anybody wants to watch it, don't have the kids in the room.
Yeah, Polar.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the torture scenes. It's like, oh,
geez.
Yeah.
A crazy little Englishman.
Oh yeah. But the funny part is that in the very beginning he gets a dog. He's coming back into society. He's coming back into like normal life.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be killing anyone anymore, and he adopts this dog. Well, needless to say, he ends up blowing the poor thing's head off the first night because he's not used to having anybody around him sleeping. So he's got his gun in behind him. The dog is licking his hand, showing him love, and all you see is BAM! It's like, and you just look and you went, oh, they just did that. That's what this movie's going to be like. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he gets a knock at the door, and it's John Wick.
No, he would make John Wick look like a Boy Scout. Let's put it that way. You compare John Wick in this movie, and yeah, if John Wick came out like this movie, it would have an MA rating. Between that and the adult scenes, it was just like, whoa. Because I'll watch anything Mads Mikkelsen is in. I love him. He's awesome. But this even to me, it was like, I mean, I've seen some gruesome shit in my life, but to watch those torture scenes was just like, my PTSD is going, dude, don't watch this. Dude, don't watch this. The other part was going, but dude. Although that one gun he ended up getting was awesome. It was controlled by his hands. It was basically, it was like 15 or 18 Gatling guns on tripods, and he had it set up in a warehouse, and this whole entire platoon of assassins comes to kill him. And he sits there, and it's hysterical because he holds out his hands and laser targeting shoots out from the fingertips. And basically where he points, he then closes his hands and all the guns start opening fire. It was just like, wow, I want one. I want it mounted on the roof of my house, and I just want to watch people go by. And if they piss me off...
Say bye-bye.
Shoosh. The only thing better than that would have been, oh god, I haven't seen one in years. Multi-shot rail system. It was basically, and they had it in a CSI Miami, of all places, a CSI Miami episode. It was basically a 8-foot by 4-foot wide box filled with magnetic rail tubes, and each one was filled with about 50 shots. And the opening scene of the episode is this guy's running. He's running, and all of a sudden you're, and he just disintegrates. You just see a cloud of blood, and it's just like, oh! I want it.
For those heavy traffic days on the 401.
Oh, that road's fucked up. I've watched the Netflix, the towing, the
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
towing.
Yeah.
That gives you an eyeful right there. Like, oh my God, they're insane.
And
3 feet of snow on it. 3 feet of snow, and people are still going by at like 80 miles an hour. It's like, no,
Yeah.
oh well.
I have always said, for every snowflake that falls, another moron forgets how to drive.
You could times that by 3 if you want.
Well, I can understand that where you're from, but so if you live in Ontario and you don't know how to drive in snow, stay the hell home or take the bus.
Well, then here's my question. What happens to the Canadians when they hit my state?
They melt.
No, they're pasty white, but they don't melt. We've watched this. They don't combust either on the beach.
It's like vampires.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. But like driving wise,
but yeah.
I mean, it was funny. I was sitting there one time, and my daughter asked me, she goes, "Dad, what is?" And it was an Ontario place, so it says "Je me souviens," and she goes, "What does that mean?" I go, "Bring me souvenirs." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "They're from Canada. Who knows?"
Was it a blue hair behind the steering wheel?
There was nobody behind the steering wheel. She was too fucking short to see over it. It was 2 hands, and that was it. 2 hands in the steering wheel. And she kept and she's in a old Lincoln Town Car land yacht.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's bouncing off the curb because that's how she was rail driving sideways. I was like, would you look at this shit? I got my cell phone. I called the police. I said, you really want to come down here and stop her? Well, what is she doing wrong? Well, aside from marking the curb every 20 feet that she's been there, well, how fast is she going? Well, it's a 35-mile-an-hour zone, and yeah, she's doing about 60. Oh, God, okay. Woo! It took them like 2 miles to pull her over. She was not pulling over. It took 3 cars and all the lights. And thank you, Joe. And wrapping it up tonight. Debating on how far I'm taking the weathering. Probably do the undercarriage and the wheels, and a little bit on the body. But as you can see, got all the good doodads in there. And then, oh yeah, let me see what I can see. Okay. And then, bullet holes. Glass on the gunner side is shattered.
There's no grill.
That was the funny part about this model is that's the way it came. All the research I did, they always had 2 posts at least in the middle.
Yeah.
And with this model, they just said, no, screw you.
Oh, well.
It wouldn't be too hard to scratch build out of styrene.
Yeah, I said no.
I was going to say, I'd take a toothpick.
It goes along with my theme of it was in battle and it got shot to hell and now it's being rebuilt. So there.
Okay.
Well, it's like, for instance, like I put these nice little nifty 50 caliber bullet holes in the shield, and then there's a bright shiny new light in the front of it with no hole through it. So I just say they replaced it. That's it.
There you go.
Huh.
And it was funny. I was doing some research on that hangout HD1, and I was watching a YouTube video of them starting one up. Matter of fact, one of the versions in the box is the one I was watching would start up. And I don't know. I've worked around aircraft, and these guys are just way too comfortable because there's this big wooden propeller going, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever, until you have your heads lopped off. Permanent haircut.
Hey, save money on barbers.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now you're making me think I shouldn't weather it. You weathered it and fucked the whole damn thing up.
Oh, that's for a different hangout.
If you're gonna screw up big and do it live. That's the way it works, Josh. Oh, excuse me. Joe says, if you weather it, you will only add to what you have, some streaking, a little dust that will push it over the top. But now, do you mean over the top as in it goes from looking really cool to suddenly it looks like a fucking toy that I shit on? Or, you know, puts it over the top of like, oh my God, that's really freaking awesome. I've got this freaking kit from Vallejo that I'm going to try and do, and I'm like hesitant. Paint the tracks and wheels in number 82 German camo. Black, brown, and once thoroughly dry, apply a thin layer of buff and hull red. And yet in the picture, they have not done this. When you go to number 2, apply a coat of dark brown wash over the tracks and running gear and chassis lower part. And yet, they have not done this. In 3, magically
I
everything's
can
done.
almost hear my dad from when I was a kid. Do as I tell you, not as I do.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, they say the selling point is that the instructions are right on the back. The instructions are wrong. Bastards. That's what I have to do with that karaoke engineering mixed photo etch from he gets from Korea. Oh. The poor bastard went out to karaoke the night before and it has to come in and do engineering the next day. It don't work. Joe writes, over the top, like, holy shit, that looks good. Won't have to be too much, but a little here and there will put it over the top. All right. Sounds like a plan.
You know what would put it really over the top?
If I threw it over the house?
You did it as a cutaway.
You know, I thought about doing it as a cutaway, but then I just didn't think I'd be able to do it service that would impress Joe enough. I think you remember we got on that talking about the bag of dicks, and I said, you know something? What if I had a mold done of mine, and then I did a cutaway of that and sent that to him?
Oh, even as a replica, man, I don't think I could carve up my own dick. That's just.
I used to work with a butcher. It don't bother me none. What?
Well, it wouldn't bother me if it's someone else's dick. I just don't want to carve up mine.
What? It's just Moyle, the home game. All right. What do we do?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm already circumcised, and that's kind of one of those things you don't want to do twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of cool to do somebody late in life also.
Cool.
My poor grandfather was 78, and he ended up in the hospital for something. And while he was there, for some reason, they felt they needed to do it. Oh.
That happened to a guy I know when he was 19. He was getting infections and all sorts of stuff, and had this weird thing where in one area the skin was starting to grow to the glands itself.
Okay.
So it literally hurt him to get erect.
Yeah.
So they went and they did the circumcision at night. And he spent the next 2 weeks on the couch going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," with a bag of ice in his lap.
Where's the frozen peas?
Oh my God. Imagine being
He's like, "They did this to you when you were a child? How did you survive?" I'm like, "Fuck if I remember. I was a day old."
No shit.
was a lot less to take off, and who gave a fuck?
Mind you, it helps that my doctor at that point in life was an old country doctor. He gave my mother advice like for teething. He'd say, "Go and buy yourself a bottle of scotch." He said, "But make sure it's something that you can." He says, "Okay." He says, "You put a little dab on the gums, and if that doesn't do it, you take a couple of plugs yourself, and you won't give a shit." Back when the doctor still did house visits, you know, he had to stitch up the bottom of my foot on my kitchen table once. Stepped on a broken piece of glass. There I am, my mother's big oak table. That was my operating table. Little thimble full of whiskey for the kid. Splash some on the wound. Take a big plug yourself and stitch the kid up. You know.
Glug.
What can I say? The medical profession was a little bit different back then.
A wee bit.
Nowadays, you even breathe with alcohol in your breath around the kid. They call CAS on you.
You know, the funny thing is, I painted these wheels, the tires black, 2 weeks ago, and they finally flashed off just the other day, where they weren't sticking to the cutting mat anymore. And I thinned them. That's the funny part. It's plain Vallejo glossy black,
Wow.
and I was like, really?
I know Tester's gloss black takes quite a while to flash off. Like if I paint with Tester's gloss black, it's put it aside for a day or two. But with enamels, that's a little bit more to be expected.
Yeah.
It's one thing I like about lacquers is they flash off real quick. Unfortunately, I don't have an extraction system here, so.
Well, I thought about giving it a shot like James and going oils and slapping it all on there, and then I realized I'm not James. So I said, no, we're not going to do it.
This was when I did in that live session, and I love working with these oils because apparently these guys wear skin or whatever, the skins of their whatever enemies, the flayed men, and you just see people making this pink because they just skin is pink, and not that it might corrode a little bit or decay or something like that, and it was no problem to change all the. There's a little bit warmer colors, darker colors, something more red, something more blue, something more brown. And if I was doing this with acrylic, I'd still be painting the damn thing. Oils are just like, shove a few colors on there, grab a fresh brush, mix them together. If you don't like what you got, you just take these sponges and you wipe it right off. Because I do this all the time. It's okay. I actually did it once. I intentionally painted something the wrong color, like obviously the wrong color. And towards the very end of it, I said, I painted this the wrong color. I lied. And I took out one of those sponges, wiped it away, and in about 3 minutes, I had it painted the right color. And I said, no simple green needed here. No purple power, no simple green, none of that stuff. Just magic sponge.
God. Magic sponge reminds me of that Jerry Seinfeld episode.
I was just thinking of that.
Are you sponge worthy?
I gotta have the sponge.
With Adepticon, just 19 days away. I'm still so tempted to make my own fake line of paint out of these things. Print up my labels and call them, some kind of Wapple version of the oil brushers. Because they come with this really nice decorative box with foam inserts that hold all these in place, and there's little agitators in there and stuff. Oh yeah, it'll be a show sale price of $250 for 20 paints.
You'd make a killing.
But you gotta have this. You are not a miniature painter unless you have this. That other Kickstarter that you just signed up for last week, that is so last week. I mean, come on, get with the program, get with today.
Yup.
For crying out loud.
Yup.
I think your grandparents were using those brand new paints that just came out 7 days ago. Are you your grandparents? What's the deal, huh?
Why, yes, I actually am. Pretty soon there'll be another one of the little buggers. My older son's expecting one.
Let's see.
God, is he in for an awakening? Oh, I'm gonna wait until he starts complaining. I'm like, you know what, little shit.
And welcome to Photomorph, joining the hangout here on video.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Unable to sleep, but
Where are you checking in from?
UK.
Oh dear God, it's 3 a.m. over there.
Yeah, exactly. Bang on 3.
You've been drinking the Italian coffee again, haven't you?
yeah, I think so. No, I got my I had my new B12 injection today, so.
Yeah, yesterday my wife had to go and get her injections, but those are a little more painful. They give them to her in her eyeball.
Oh,
Really?
oh, God.
She gets one of those every couple of months, one in each eyeball.
What's
What you got to do is what you got to do to stave off the blindness, because diabetes is slowly taking her eyes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can discuss circumcision. We can discuss blowing heads off. Do we have to go to the eyeballs? You know,
Supercision. I just thought circumcision depends on how well hung you are, I guess. I would have thought circumcision would have been a much more touchier subject than eyeballs.
No.
No. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. Someone tries to stick something in my eyeballs. Oh, we're having problems.
You know, it's not even so much the injection that's the problem, because they put drops in your eyes that kill the pain and everything. It's the fact that you have to sit there with your eyes open and see it coming towards you and not flinch or blink.
Yeah, there's a lot of training inside the brain that would stop them. And then I'd end up in jail.
They can put like an anaesthetic on the eye, though, can't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they give you eye drops that kills the pain.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but you still see the needle coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You still. It's kind of like a gag reflex. You still want to reach out and choke them.
Yeah.
But we're trying to help you. No, you're not.
I don't like the sound of that. I've got diabetes, so I don't like the sound of that at all.
Well, you know what? All I can say, dude, is watch your blood sugars. Take real good care of yourself. A lot of that, when it comes to that, is a maintenance issue. You spend too long not looking after yourself properly, that's gonna eventually happen. You know.
Lots of Scotch says, "I'd rather go blind."
Yeah.
And Tommy Mija has joined the hangout on video. Welcome, Tommy.
Yeah, I saw him sneaking in too, but I thought I'd sit there and wait and see how long it took before he goes, "Good morning, everybody."
Morning. Morning.
Yeah, he always says good morning.
Yeah.
That's his little tagline. I am going to go get a drink, folks. I will be right back.
Good, pour me one too. Of course, you're gonna have to drink it for me, but almost have the whole photo etch done, or at least done enough that I can paint anyway. Okay. Okay, now. That's what I forgot to do today. Shit.
You forgot to shit.
Oh no, I remember that. I just shit. I forgot. No, I was going to pick up some flat white and some satin gray so I could mix up the proper extremely light gray for this ship. And I forgot to grab it, so the painting's going to have to wait until tomorrow, even if I do finish getting the hull ready tonight.
What ship are you on?
1 to 350 scale SMS Emden.
I'm doing the Corvette at the moment, the Snowberry.
Are you doing the 1 to 144th or the 1 to 72nd?
172nd.
That is a nice kit. I built that one back in the late 90s.
Yeah, I got the platinum edition.
Yeah, I've been wanting to revisit that kit now that they've got the platinum out, but
yeah,
it's not a cheap kit to buy. Not like the original kit was in the 90s. I think I picked that thing up for like $60 at a hobby shop.
Right. This is absolutely crazy, and the God's honest truth. Somebody give me it.
Nice. Dude, give that man a Christmas card this year. He earned it.
Yeah, a member of my group. He was talking one night, and the Snowberry's been a kit I've been after for a long time, but it's just out of my reach financially. And he said that he was selling his off. So I was like, "All right, how much do you want for it?" And he said, "Well, you can have it." And I was like, "What, really?" And he said, yeah, you can have it. And so I offered him some money for it. He wouldn't take it. I offered him to pay postage for it. He wouldn't take that. And when it come through the post, not only is it the 172nd Snowberry, it's also the platinum edition.
Nice. Yeah, the last Corvette I did was the 1 to 144th, simply because I couldn't afford to order the 1 to 72nd. But back in the 90s, I built that 1 to 72nd scale, and it was even just the base kit. I thoroughly enjoyed that build, and that's saying something because that was an old kit even then. That kit's originally from the early 70s. The mold was originally Matchbox back when they were still building. Still building models. And when they stopped, Revell acquired it off them.
I've also still got the HMS Victory still on the go. There's the Victory. It's only a small one. Oh. It's very small, really, in comparison to the.
It's not too bad a size, though.
Oh,
I've got
nice.
a photo etch for it on the.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
And yeah, so no, it's not too bad. I've done this. I started this about, I'm going to say, a year ago. So this skill set is about a year old. I don't think I could have done much better if I'd done it now.
Well, it's very nicely done.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Indeed.
But yeah, I'm not overly infused with the plastic on it. It's very poor condition. But
Was it from Airfix?
yes, the Airfix one.
Yeah, I've noticed their plastic sometimes is hit or miss.
Yeah, it's very well. It's not so much it's not so much the plastic itself; it's the condition of the molds. There's so much flash on it; it's incredible. It's just all over the place.
Yeah.
There's it's just in a real mess. Some of it you've got to spend quite a bit of time cleaning it up and getting it to look representable.
Yeah.
There you go. That's but I'm enjoying the ship, so I must admit. My snowberry is that's where the snowberry's at the moment. So I've got I've just got the painting done along the side. I've done the tiny little portholes in the side that you can't really.
I can see them.
I don't know whether they show up or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I left the little ridges on the top because I felt they looked better than the. They give you some photo etch ones, but they're flat. And on the real boat, there's more of a ridge there. So I thought I'd leave them on, and I've got the lightings sort of starting to go in on it.
Well, if you want some good reference material, look up HMCS Sackville. It's the last of the Corvettes still in existence.
Oh, right.
And it's a museum ship in Nova Scotia. They actually just had it in to redo the hull on it. This past fall, they did it, which is good because it was starting to deteriorate pretty badly.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done the weathering on this yet, but there's quite a bit of weathering to do on the hull. It doesn't come with the lighting kit, unfortunately. I'm having to do that myself.
They have a. They also have a Technic kit of that, and it comes with lighting. It comes with the a little motor to make the radar go around in the radar housing there.
Yeah, the price they're asking for that, I can probably do it myself.
Yeah,
a lot cheaper.
what they should do is combine it with the Platinum Edition. So you literally get everything for it in one box.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why they haven't done that, but there you go. $59. So 59, 69, 79, 22, 6.
Ah, crap. Got to repeat that. Is Tommy having trouble with his camera again?
Oh, I'm not too sure.
I don't know. It looked like he froze a little bit ago, and then he like disappeared. I think.
Internet gods are not happy with him again.
His Wi-Fi is probably like, you've been on this thing long enough.
You've been on for 5 minutes. Get off.
Meanwhile, what he doesn't know is his wife installed a program on the computer. She's in the other room on the laptop going, nope, click.
It's hot as nuggets in this house. So I always find it amazing. I was watching a thing on England about how you folks do your electrical and your bathrooms and how your air conditioning is used and whatnot, if you have air conditioning.
Yeah, we don't use that.
As compared to us down here in Florida. And because, every so often down here we'll get a couple of little cold spell where we'll hit, we'll go down into like the 40s or 30s at night for a couple of weeks. And my kids are going, oh my God, it's freezing cold. I'm like, well, you know what they do in England? She goes, what? I said, they just have a lot of blankets on the bed, and then when they wake up in the morning, they turn on the heat.
They throw on a jumper.
Yeah. She goes, really? Yeah.
What's 30s and 40s in centigrade?
30s would be close to 0.
Oh, right, yeah, so that's...
Bit of a nip in the ear.
I have the fan on a lot because I don't like the heat.
I don't like when if I go to sleep when it's cold, I don't mind. But if I wake up and it was nice and comfortable and then all of a sudden it's freezing, then I don't like it. That happened once. I was renting a house years ago, and the circuit breaker was an old Florida home, and in the middle of the night the circuit breaker blew because the temperature dropped down to like 31 or 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which would have been 0 for you. And so the heater kicked on, and it just pop. I wake up, it's 45 degrees inside the house in the morning. I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah. When I was little, my mum tells this story that I ran into the bedroom one morning in this was when central heating wasn't yet a thing, and she said she would ask me what the weather was like outside, and I said to her, I just peel the curtains off the window and scratch a hole and have a look. Because the frost was inside.
Now I've got Monty Python stuck in my head. Well, of course, we had it wrong. There's 120 of us living in a shoebox in the middle of the road. Cardboard box. Oh, you were lucky.
Yeah, Monty Python. He's not the Messiah. He's a naughty boy.
Yeah, there's some lovely filth over here. You can't base the government off of some watery talk throwing a sword at you.
Oh, you bastards. Of course, it would tell me this now. Shit.
What?
Okay. I'm just going to have to do that a different way. I already have the deck on and can't reach the inside of the ship to put the retaining pin on the rudder. That's okay, because it's not going to be moving around when I'm done with it anyway, so that's just going to get glued straight in.
All right, guys, I got to get up early in the morning. I'm
Okay, Josh.
kick off. Hey, Mick,
Take
just
it
so
easy,
you know,
Josh.
you're still presenting to photo.
Oh, sorry.
I just didn't know if you knew. See you guys later.
Take it easy, Josh.
Later.
Yeah.
I knew I put him on presenting. What I didn't know is that I'd forgotten to take him off.
Oh, what did my computer do now?
Tommy said talk to you guys later. He's glitching in and out, so he was calling it a night.
Oh, okay.
Good night, Tommy.
He's been having a lot of problems with that lately.
Yes. Dang his bitch. Dun, 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 dun. Is Goy Elroy?
It would kind of have to be, because I don't think I've ever met a Jew named Elroy.
No, I don't think I have either.
That's why I don't understand why during the Vietnam War they refer to the enemy as Charlie. You show me the Vietnamese guy named Charlie. Even the ones with American names, it's not Charlie or Charles.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Joe will be chiming in with the answer. I'll be amazed if he doesn't know it.
I'm sure there's a logical reason behind it somewhere.
Well, I'm sure there is too, but I'll be damned if I know what it is.
Was it in World War II? It was Jerry, weren't it?
Yeah, that was a German. Yeah. That's another one where they came up with that one.
Well, I mean, at least Jerry sounds like it was based on the word German, right? But I mean, at least it sounds like there might be a connection there. But North Vietnamese, Charlie. What? How the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to know now.
I'm not putting that in my Google search. No.
You see, this is the kind of stuff that I get stuck in people's heads.
Find out now.
You've got mail. You bastard.
There goes that standing stick. I'm really surprised they didn't replace that part with photo etch.
Oh, call him up, curse him out, throw it out.
No, but I am going to double check all my instruction sheets to make sure I'm not missing something here.
Was it Vietnam or Korea? It was Korea, wasn't it?
What's that, Charlie?
Yeah.
It was Vietnam.
Oh, Charlie was Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Also,
Probably
Starfish.
another one in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, they do not have that part replaced in here. Okay. Wanted to make sure before I went and glued the plastic part on. You watch, it's probably in there and I'm just not seeing it, and I'll find it after I've already glued the plastic part on.
Pretty much, yeah. That's usually par for the course with you. I'll hear about it 2 days later. You know what I found?
All right, it's really boring actually.
I'm sorry, I can't be entertaining all the time.
They were referred to Charlie because they were the VC, so it was Victor Charlie.
Oh,
Okay.
Basically, just because of the NATO phonetic alphabet.
Okay. Well, that explains it then.
So there was no. Wow, that's a bit disappointing. It's a bit of an anticlimax, huh?
Very well. So what do you expect from boring ass NATO? All right. Boring ass NATO. Are we even still a part of NATO anymore? I don't even know.
Yep.
I know we're supposed to be. You never know day to day what's shit going on.
I'm not going to make any comments regarding politics right now.
Meyer Clear. This shit smells like cherries. If I can open that damn bottle. Jesus fucking Christ. There we go.
A handy dandy reference book here to see if I'm looking at their part.
Oh, that smells like Four Roses is what that smells like. Oh. Oh. That brings back memories.
I think my connection's going to go off in a minute.
The missus put you on a time limit.
No, they're all in bed. Just having trouble with the laptop today. It's running really slowly.
I tell you guys, stop looking at all those adult sites, but Lord knows in England they stop you for most of them. So it can't be that. Which I gotta say, that was one of the funnier newscasts I've seen when they were discussing how the Parliament was discussing putting blocks and bans on particular types of adult entertainment online and showing the pictures of it. Like, oh, really? Oh, there's a guy in the leather hood. Oh, jeez. Can't see that no more.
We'll leave that part off until later.
Pretty much what the newscast said, too.
No, they got a plastic part on here, and I think I know why they didn't include a photo etch replacement for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's actually supposed to be there. I think Revell screwed up. Because my really highly detailed reference book doesn't show it there.
Revell screw up. Don't say it ain't so.
It ain't so. I didn't say I was telling the truth. You just told me to say it, so. No, I think that's just about ready for paint if I had have remembered the paint. So I can lay the deck down on it. And then the real fun begins, because then I can start the photo etch work in earnest. I haven't told Ernest about this.
Well, you know, he's pretty easygoing about it, so don't worry about it.
Well, I guess he's pretty easygoing. Jim Varney died, what, in the 90s?
Well, you can't get much easier going than that.
This is true. That was a loss to the comic world, I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure Ha-Ha's in downtown Sheboygan was devastated. X-27, isn't that a jet? X-27? Sounds like one. Welcome back, Hans. It's only 10:30.
I know, it feels way later than it is. I have to bed.
You going to bed?
Yeah.
All right, babes.
Like, I know it's early, but oh.
Good night, Ava. Another little detail I found to take care of. Now I have to wait for that putty to dry. Whoever engineered this kit really wasn't paying attention.
It was the same people who did your photo etch. Didn't
No,
send you
the photo etch was actually very well engineered. It was the instructions that were screwed up.
Yeah.
This, literally, the way they had it engineered, I just had to putty a thing here because they, where the, here. Where the drive shaft comes into the hull here, I had to putty because literally they just had an open notch there where it fit in, rather than having a hole where you place it in. So of course, right on the side there was this great big ugly opening where you could see the joint, and it was just, really, guys, we couldn't do better than that. I need to go and refill my frothy beverage. I shall be right back.
Okay. Good night, hon. Perfect.
There, I thought I had a dinosaur dying in the bathroom, but it's just the wife blowing her nose.
Oh, jeez. Well, better than having a gas leak.
She's in the bathroom. There's a good chance of that, too. Last time I told her if she did that again, I was putting in a complaint to the people responsible for the Geneva Convention.
Kathy's done that 100 times a year. Ain't gonna do you no good.
Wait. So an actual legitimate army's not allowed to use gas, but my wife is? That sounds a little unfair to me. Well, apparently Edwards makes mistakes with the part numbers too. They meant to say 78, not T8.
7T. Oh,
Mind you, it's not the part number they gave me that's wrong. Like the photo etch part number they gave me that's wrong. It's the kit number that I'm supposed to be modifying.
Oh, James, you were mentioned in conversation last night with my daughter.
Being burned in effigy.
No, actually, I was complimenting you. She's getting into building models now, and she's built the Bear Gundams, which are fairly simple. You know, snip, snap, you're done. Started getting her used to technique of deburring and smoothing and whatnot, but still pretty much for the most part easy. So the other night we started talking about building all sorts of models. I took out a car model, and she wasn't comfortable using the glue. I was like, well, it's glue. And we're talking to my thin set. We're not, extra thin. We're not talking like globs of crap all over the place like when we were kids. But she's like, no, I don't know about that yet. All right, fine. So then we were talking, and I was like, we started talking about like painting and all sorts of stuff, and we went on to painting theory for some reason. And I said to her, I said, you'll find, I said, Ava, we have a gentleman that comes into our hangouts named James Opel. He's one of the top premier painters of miniatures in the country. I was like, and just because her thing was, now I remember, her thing was is that she felt that because she wasn't an expert, she wasn't top notch, that she couldn't talk to the guys in the hangout, because I literally took my headphones off and let her talk to Nick and Joe and those guys. And I'm like, well, Joe's, excellent at cutaways. I can't do a cutaway. It doesn't mean I'm not going to sit there and build a model and talk to him. I was like, James Opel is one of the top premier painters. I talked to him. I said, you see what he does? I said, Ava, you see how I have all these paintbrushes, all these paint shoes here? I said, he sits here with one damn brush. You're lucky if there's 5 fucking colors of oils, and he makes this whole entire thing look like a masterpiece. And we all sit there going, how in God's name? And I said, now he did go to art school. He did learn his color palette. He learned how colors work, how they mix, how they blend. I said, and that's something you're going to have to learn. I was like, but you can. There's no reason you can't. And mind you, she's 10 years old, so.
Well, geez, I spent years watching. Remember the German guy, Bill Alexander?
Yes.
This tick-up paint will always tick was it in a paint.
I showed him to my grandmother. Now, mind you, my grandfather actually was part of the forces that liberated a few of the camps. And we were sitting there, and I showed my grandmother because Bob Ross had come on, and I was 12, 13 at the time. I was down in Florida visiting. And I said, "Oh, Bob Ross is going to be on." So I went and I flipped to it. I'm watching Bob Ross. My grandmother comes, "What are you watching?" I said, "Oh, Bob Ross. He paints." And then right afterwards, they put on Alexander. And she goes, "Now, who's this guy?" I said, "That's the guy that taught Bob Ross." And then Bob Ross left him. And he's pissed at Bob Ross now. And she's like, "Oh, he sounds German." I said, "Oh, he is." And so he's sitting there and he's doing his painting. And I go, "Now watch this, Grandma. Now over here, we're going to paint the sniper patch right there. We'll put him up in the tree. And here we put the watchtower." And all of a sudden she looks at me, she goes, "You stop that right now." I'm like, my grandfather comes in, "What the hell is he watching?"
Well,
like,
Wow.
he's cracking SS jokes on his painter on TV.
well, I just remember that he got special privileges in the camp by doing paintings for the commandant. Because he was one of those guys that I think they took him to Texas or whatever. Probably must have surrendered at Tunisia or something.
Either that or he could have been naval, because a lot of the naval prisoners ended up either in Canada or the U.S.
Yeah, I think he never went back to. Well, I'm not surprised you wouldn't want to go back there with either the Russians sitting there or the French or the English sitting there.
Yeah. Oh, all expenses paid trip to the United States? I'm in. Okay.
So, James, you, if I've got this right, Gilbert mentioned you quite a lot when I congratulate him on his work. He always says that you're a person to go and watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask your opinion on this. It's something I've been working on.
It looks like Dobby right there.
Yeah, that's it. So this is for my daughter. It's she's fanatical on this character. So this is a 3D print. I've printed off the body as well, but this is the head that I've done. The nose is in the middle of repair because it got chipped. But I don't know. How do you think that looks?
Well, it's certainly. As soon as I saw it, I knew that it wasn't because the eyes were like his, because the shape of the face, well, it could be like a goblin or something like that.
Yeah.
But the eyes, even though I haven't even seen the movie in years, I mean, like since it first came out, whenever that was, I look at it and, oh yeah, those got to be his eyes. Just
Yeah.
that look that he's got on his face.
I've tried to, because I'm nowhere near Gil's standard or yourself, but obviously I'm getting better each one that I do. And so with this one, this was the first time I really sort of used inks and tried to get different shades going.
Yeah, I can see some more yellow, a little tint towards the green, and different shades in there, which that makes it look always makes it look more lifelike, because there's always those different shades in there.
Right.
Whatever you do, don't paint a sock on him. He'll disappear by morning.
Don't paint what on him?
A sock.
I thought you said something else.
That's what it sounded like.
You know, if you're giving it to your daughter, don't paint that on it either. But
yeah, I mean, I'm still working on the body, but basically that's the where I am with that.
Yeah, and his brags were they just mostly sort of a tan?
Yeah, I think so. They were like a sort of sack, weren't they? Sort of dirty sack.
Because I guess so the key thing will be, how do you get differential between the skin tone and the sack, which are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Maybe the sack is either probably going to be like a warmer tone, maybe more towards the yellow, than maybe his skin. If you got more of those greens, like on his face and purples and stuff, if you get kind of more depth in his skin colors, then the sack might kind of separate, even though they're both kind of browns.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So yeah, yeah, I can try that.
Bobby's sack was really dingy and dirty too. So
I know. So with the eyes, I actually used one of those Vallejo still water effects, because I wanted to try and get that
look, yeah.
Liquid look you get when you look at somebody,
glossy look.
Yeah, it hasn't quite gone right, because you can see. Yeah.
One thing that is kind of interesting is, and I'm trying to do this, get bigger sized busts, heads like that, so I can do the thing where you paint the eye, you paint a little bit of the iris in there, the pupil, then you put the water effects over the top.
Yeah,
then
that's
you paint some more of the eye, then you put another layer of water effects. So now, because the eye is really these layers of transparencies, it really is kind of a jello ball, really, pretty much. I guess that's why crows like to eat them or something. They're like jello shots for crows.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I mean, it's they're very hard to do when they're in 3D print, because they come out like that. This is another head that because I've had a few people ask if they can buy the just the 3D print off me. So and they basically just comes out like this.
The dreaded skyscraper look.
Yeah, and it's not so much that. I don't know if you can pick it up, but when you prime them, you have this awful striation marks on there. I don't think it's going to show.
Oh yeah,
the layering.
Yeah, I've had to paint it. We've had to paint a bunch of those, and sometimes we actually tell people, "Sorry, we just can't do that."
No, so I mean,
what you want.
This has had 60 odd hours work on it, because it's basically had filler and then more filler, sanded down, then more filler, sanded down, and it's gone like that to get that smooth look. Because it's initially sort of.
Yeah, those things there's been several like shapeways, some stuff I got from them that had just had grit on it. I didn't even have to deal with the striations. The grit was bad enough.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of characters, I mean, I tried to print off a Predator, and that was a complete disaster. The Predator was a nightmare.
Oh, geez, I can only imagine. That's why we haven't dabbled in that the way people want us to, because we said, well, there's a real extreme learning curve going on there.
You can 3D print in resin and like styrene, but you need a much more expensive printer.
Yeah, I've got a resin figure over here that I'm going to be starting soon. I'll grab it for you. I'm actually really impressed with. The striations from the slicing is hardly visible. I just a light sand with my really smooth sanding stick.
Oh wow, that would be great. So did you print this yourself, or?
No, this was sent to me by Mike over at NY3D Creations.
Oh right.
And there's this pipe taped to the card, so it didn't lose it. But where the hell's the rest of them in here? There's his feet. Where's his head? There it is.
That is, yeah.
But you can really tell the difference because the stand was done in what was done with a polystyrene 3D printer. Done with plastic.
Yeah.
It needs a lot more cleanup than this.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good. Yes, I mean, another one I've been working on is Batman, and I've had to spend hours alone just going round with his head, and literally re-scribing certain features.
Hang on just a second. Let me present this on you.
Like his mask had to be. Let me just pull that out a bit. Put that on low. I had to re-scribe where his face, his chin is.
Okay.
There we go. So really quite, and again, lots of sanding, filler, sand, and it's really like that. I did get his, let me just see if I've got his. So that's his cloak. It's not finished yet, but you know, that took a lot of sanding.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with it, but I think the reason I don't really like this is the fact that his cloak is about 1/2 an inch thick. You can't really tell when it's on the stand, but and then his body. No, that's the astronaut.
That Popeye is going to be a bit of a departure for me because I don't do figures.
Yeah, I like the look of that Popeye. That looks really cool.
I've always been a big Popeye fan, and off and on over the past year or so, my profile picture on Facebook has been this animated Popeye.
Yeah.
And this print was done the same as the animated ones that I used for my profile pic. And Mike over at NY3D Creations was saying that he's got a Popeye that he's building, and I'm like, oh, that would actually be one I might be interested in buying. Like, I don't do figures, but that I'd be interested in doing. And next thing I know, the damn thing shows up at my door. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I've got to paint a figure now.
Yeah, it's quite a nice size as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's actually a little bit smaller than the real print. He scaled this one down because it was a test print. Not by much. I think Mike said it was like an inch or two shorter.
Looking for the Batman figure, and it's right in front of me. So again, that's had a lot of sanding done to it, so the cloak sort of sits on the back there like that, and then his head goes on sort of like that.
Okay.
So I've got to get this more of a sand type look to this.
Yeah.
I was going to go sand, sorry, but then I thought it would actually look better as a sort of grey concrete, because Gotham's not in the desert, is it?
No. Mind you, being Gotham, you could almost get away with sanding the part smooth and going with a chrome finish, sort of like the gargoyle heads on the Chrysler Building.
Oh yeah, I never thought of doing that.
I mean, you could almost go that way if you wanted.
Yeah.
Because Gotham City, rather cosmopolitan place, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very Art Deco.
And then my other figure that I'm working on is the Revel astronaut.
Oh, cool. Very, very cool.
Are there a bunch of different decals for all of the installations where tubes and other stuff's going to be going into a suit?
Is there? Because this came with no decals.
Because I'm just wondering, did you do a quick Google search or something like that and see what kind of, whatever you do, don't plug this in here.
Yeah, no, I didn't find anything at the time, so I ordered some clear decal paper, and I was going to have a go at trying to print my own because I've got no flags or anything to go with it. So that's pretty much why it's at a standstill there. I painted it, although, yeah, I'm not overly happy with it at the moment, but then that tends to be my response to a lot of things I do. I don't really like what I've done a lot of the time.
We run into that a lot where folks, they kind of talk themselves out of things all the time, or talk themselves into things. And one of the things we used to do was actually never react to anything that we did until we just saw the pictures of it when we caught them on the computer. Because between the camera and the computer and everything else, it's almost like you're able to step outside yourself. Oh, this is what I wanted to do, but damn it, that didn't happen. And then you realize, well, wait a second, just getting part of the way there doesn't look so horrible. But in your mind, what you had that vision, what you wanted it to be, but no one else knows.
See, I follow, obviously, I follow Gil's work a lot. And I'm constantly looking at Gil's work and anyone. And so whenever I do anything, whenever I sit down to do anything, I've got his work in the back of my mind. And it's just a level that's far above where I'm at.
But here's let me give you a little bit of advice on that. It's okay to look at other people's stuff. Like I'll look at Gil's, I'll look at James and stuff. But here's the thing: when it comes down to where I'm sitting in front of my model, whatever I'm building, everything else goes out the window, because what matters is the picture that's in my mind. What do I see it's going to be? What do I figure how it's going to come out? And then, because if I'm just trying to do what James does, or I'm just trying to do what Gil does, then I'm just copying. I'm not creating.
Yeah.
So learn from them, learn technique.
Yeah, I think
color blending, stuff like that. But don't worry when you sit down. Clear your mind. Let your mind be the actual canvas. Then you project it.
What I meant was when I sit down, when I've got their work in my mind, it's not that I'm trying to copy what they do. What I meant was I will sit down to do the blending on the face, and like on this, and I've got I've perhaps been watching Gil do his blending, and I sit down and I'm trying to achieve similar results to what he's getting, but I can't get there because I don't have the skill set yet.
Oh, that's just practice. That's
yeah. So it's I need lots.
That still lends it to what I'm saying now, is that you look at your model, you're partly expecting to see Gil's what you're hoping to see is Gil's results.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because that's self-defeating.
I'm not ready yet for that.
Sure you are. You just haven't. You just have to give yourself the chance. If you constantly compare yourself to somebody else, you don't give yourself a chance to do your own thing.
Yeah.
It's something I learned a long time ago from very successful people. And I asked them questions like, how did you make your money? Doesn't matter how I made my money. How do you want to make your money? What is it that because you can do everything I've done, you still won't succeed because you're not me.
Yeah.
Do your own thing.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So learn from them. Like, I'm sure James has at least 3 or 4 videos on how to blend up those tones that you can learn the techniques from.
Yeah.
But in the end, what do you want to see on it? Don't worry about what James would produce. Don't worry about what I would produce, or Mick, or Gil, or anybody. What do you want to see on it? That's where it becomes yours, your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
We look back all the time at stuff that we did years ago, and we'll say, who the hell was stupid enough to give us money for that? And we thought we were geniuses, and then we realized we weren't so genius after all. We were just a couple of dumbasses thinking we knew what we were doing, and it took years to figure out. And actually, people ask me, so Jim, do you miss 2D art? And I say, well, no, not really, because when I was doing 2D art, just because of the nature of the business, I was a glorified copy machine. I was either making prints, matting prints, selling prints, or the stuff that I was doing was just because people wanted, well, can you make it like this or like that? So everything I did was like everybody else's. There was nothing new. There was nothing innovative or anything like that. It wasn't until I got to doing the miniature stuff that all of a sudden now innovation started to creep in. Because there was just none of that back in the day with the 2D art. And that was just, okay, you want a wolf, you want a dragon, all right, we'll just do it the way everybody else does it because that's what they want to see. But once I got to the miniatures and stuff like basing was part of it and all these different aspects, then we could separate. We could find some major separation then, especially with the basing, because we started doing stuff that nobody else did. And even now, part of it was survival, of course. And if we weren't selling stuff and being innovative, we were going to be living out on the street. So there was that kind of motivation that most folks don't have, because it is supposed to be their enjoyment.
Yeah, it's a little different when you take the hobby and turn it into a career, you know?
Yeah, I'd done the same with photography. I used to be a photographer as a hobby, and then I turned it into a business, and it was very successful until I lost my leg, and then it all fell apart. And by the time I finished, I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got like a drawer full of camera equipment. I think the last time I took a picture with putting it in a stock library in mind was probably 10 years ago, maybe now.
You're like my twin from the UK. Because I, too, was a photographer. I lost a leg, and I got so fed up with photography, I said, screw this.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
The moral of the story, people, is photography causes loss of limb.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't buy a Canon camera.
I like my Canon. I got a 7D. That I don't mind. But
Wow. You got a Canon camera as well?
yeah,
Yeah, I got Canon.
I've never had a problem with the 7D. As long as I kept up with the firmware updates, it was fine.
Yeah, I went with I was a little bit earlier than the 7. I had the 60 Canon EOS 60D.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first one, the second one.
Hey, Calvin.
Yes.
All we're seeing here is a yellow screen.
Oops. Hold on.
Angela Pascal joined.
Okay. I was just wondering if maybe something was glitching with your system there. That's all.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was, but
Ironically enough, when we first started to paint for miniature companies, the first thing they asked me to do was, okay, well, we need you to imitate the look of these miniatures that this person painted that doesn't paint for us anymore. And that I spent years doing that, where I had to basically make it look, to this day, people see those 10, 13 years later, and they just assume that other person painted them all, when they only painted maybe 2 of them, and the other 40 or 50 were painted by me.
Wow.
And I had to mimic what they did, but then once I started doing other things, we started doing things for other companies, well, then you had to start changing that, because what worked for one company's miniatures wasn't going to work for another company's. The genres changed. When I started doing historical miniatures, that changed everything. Changed my whole approach, changed what mediums I used. Sure as hell changed the way I treated the flocking on my bases. Because what I thought was really nifty for 13, 14, 15 years, we looked at this, that looks like crap. That's horrible. That's like a cartoon. Because we were never doing it on something that was real. It was on a werewolf or a white or a monster or an orc or something like that. Well, anything looks real when the figure's a fake. But now when you have a French guy in a uniform or Italian Bersaglieri or here 1939, you better have that vegetation look like something they should be standing next to.
My proudest, I guess, at the moment, my proudest figure that I've painted more recently, although it would be this one. Although looking at it now, I can see obvious flaws with the skin tone on the face. What made me particularly pleased with this one was the dog, because the dog came in about 5 different parts, and he had a horrible seam running down his back, and I had to sand all the seams out. Once I'd done that, there was no detail left on the back at all. So I went over with filler, and then, if it's going to let me, and then went and scratched in the hair again.
Oh yeah, I just saw it for a second there.
Yeah, and yeah, I had to scratch in the coat, and yeah, I was very pleased with that. That's an ICM 1/16. I really like their stuff. So they're the sort of figures that I practice on.
I'm only just now getting a chance to work on larger scale figures, like some of the 75 mil stuff, because I'm going to be doing more of it because there's a Spanish company that wants me to do that with theirs, doing it with oils. And I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be really neat. But so far, for the most part, it's either been a miniature or a bust like this that I've been doing the oils on, or on vehicles, on the 1/48 scale sized vehicles. So I'm looking forward to being able to do it on figures where you can actually do some more blending, that get some more subtle things down into the crevices instead of, well, this is one of my latest oil painting series I'm doing on these guys. They're small. So blending is, you can't do quite as much fun stuff. I mean, even this guy could do more things because he's larger. It's just a bigger figure. So on the cloak here, I could just basically put blobs of oil paint on there and then sort of scumble them together and just blend it in a few minutes. What if I was doing that with acrylics? It would take glazes, it would take layers of paint going back and forth. It would take 5 times the amount of time.
Yeah,
to get a result that looks exactly the same.
I'm only just beginning to sort of touch on that. That's amazing. That that figure there. What's the name of your channel? So I can.
Oh, it's pretty easy. It's just James Wapple on YouTube. That's it.
That's all. Oh, excellent. I can. Yeah, I'll add a sub later to that because.
And actually, if you do the subscribe thing, it should give you alerts whenever I'm doing a YouTube live, and I should be doing at least 1 or 2 over this weekend. And it could be usually just about anything. It could terrain. Sometimes I try to show a special technique or something, but I try to throw as many things out there as possible.
Yeah.
I'll try to do snow effects on something or static or whatever.
Sorry.
Pleasure.
I will probably have to watch those on catch up because I'm in the UK, obviously. So.
Well, I do them. I start them usually about 2:30 our time, which is about 9:30 in the morning your time.
All right. Oh, that's not too bad then. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in Europe they call it waking up with Wapple. In Australia they call it dinner with Jim.
All right. That's awesome.
And usually every single hangout or every single one of those live sessions involves talk about Tim Tams, Aussie rules football, something along those lines.
Yeah. I think they've got a name like that for me. It's sitting with the shit.
No, it's kind of good because here you never know what kind of mayhem's going to be going on. There's usually a lot of messages that I got to write back and forth during the day, or doorbell is ringing or some stupid crap is going on. So if there's people ringing the doorbell or trying to call you or whatever at 2:30, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, then you know something horrible is going on.
Yeah. That is true.
Mr. Wapple, please place your hands against the wall. We're going to have to postpone the rest of this until I get back. So Joe, what are you working on there?
24 scale Spitfire.
Yeah, I was going to mention when I saw you sneak in, but I thought I'd wait and see how long it took before you said something.
Well, he wouldn't have said anything unless I said something to him. That's how he works. He thinks he's like that kid that thinks they're invisible as they walk through the living room full of family members. Everyone sees him, but they just go, "Oh, just let him think he's invincible." And then I'm the one uncle that goes, "The hell with that," and gives him a wet willy in the ear. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Or walks up and says, "Pull my finger."
No, that's always a
I
grandpa.
can definitely picture you as a pull my finger kind of uncle.
Not really. No, it's not my cup of tea.
Does pulling your own count?
Well, it ought to be. You're missing out on a huge opportunity here.
James, what was that?
Does pulling your own count?
Well, James, you're saying that to the wrong person because I'll take that down the road you don't want to go.
I was just about to say, hey, guys, we're live. Camera.
Oh, wait, pulling your own makes you fart? Wow.
Now, why did they put that there? Why? It's not for the model. No, it's not.
Show us on the giraffe the place that makes you fart.
He is just never going to live that down.
That's why he's probably not here today.
At least not if we can have. At least not if we have anything to do with it. He won't.
Well, I told him. I said to him, if we're busting your chops, it means we have love. If we're not busting your chops, it means we're plotting your demise.
It means we have love. Yeah, tough prison love.
That's severe relationship kind of love.
It's been so freaking long now, I don't even remember where that started from.
Oh, the giraffe?
Yeah, I don't even remember where the heck that even came in.
Chris Griffith.
Well, I remember that he did, but I don't remember what the context was.
Knowing this group, it doesn't matter. Somehow, some way, we managed to work a giraffe in.
Oddly enough, not the first time I've heard someone say that. That scares the shit out of me.
Bastards. They've got these ejector pin marks on the inside of the fuselage, and they're massive. And considering this thing's a little 1/35th, it's freaking. Oh. And yes, I know, I'll never see the inside of this thing once I glue it together.
Well,
Right.
you would if you cut it away.
I'm not cutting this
I
out.
knew that had to come in there sooner or later somewhere.
I know. I opened the door on purpose to let him get out of his system. No, not this little thing. Oh, no. I mean, you know, the fuselage is literally under 3 inches long. No, 4 inches.
I hate when that happens.
I was gonna say they have medication for that too.
Yeah, well. I'm not going floating in no bathtub to go put a fucking model together, so. What the fuck came up with that commercial? I mean, really, they just need to be bitch slapped. When the time is right. Who the fuck is in the middle of a fucking meadow in 2 separate bathtubs? I mean, let's do it realistic. A bottle of champagne, a hot tub, and 2 people blitzed off their ass. There you go. That makes a hell of a lot more sense.
Plus, you can work in a birth control ad there too.
I thought that was in the teacher's lounge in between class periods.
Oh.
Now, not everyone gets through science class the way I did.
It's getting to the point. It's almost one of those a week now, and it's always women, which I always find hysterical because usually within a week here, the husband's divorcing him. Well, yeah. How embarrassed does he have to fucking be? Your wife had to go fuck a kid. What are you doing wrong? My husband's so lousy, I went for a 14-year-old. Wow.
And he was bigger.
Oh. I don't get these fucking people. I'm like, really?
Okay, I don't feel like messing around with this smokestack tonight, so we're gonna do the math instead.
All right, where's my? There it is.
This mold had to be an old mold.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm just working on the engine for this Spitfire, and it had to be an old mold.
Oh, okay.
Which Spitfire is it?
Mark 5B.
Oh, yeah. I built that. I've done a video. I've done it as a video build as well.
Joe's cutting the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's scratch building 12,000 other parts for it.
All right. Okay.
Joe likes to show you the insides of things.
Don't ask if it's a family dog.
I found the engine was a big problem on that. The engine and the cowlings.
Cowlings won't be a problem.
Are you not having them on?
I'm not putting them on.
No.
That's one way.
Because he would only have to cut them off again later.
Yeah.
Oh, I really think Edward missed a huge opportunity by not doing this mast in brass.
Yeah, I'm sure they're losing sleep over it. Send him a letter to see what happens.
No, if I was going to do that, I'd talk to someone I know, like Mr. Park over at Infinity Models. I might actually get a favorable response out of him. I'd be like, hey, let me work on that.
No, the molds for this old Revell Bluchers are pretty old.
Which one was that again?
Calvin, what was that? What you were talking about?
The old Revell Blucher.
Okay.
Bazooka. Oh. Oh. No horse will be unsettled.
Like I said, Marty Feldman. We were talking about that before we went live.
Yeah. Brian, why are you painting this? It will never be seen. Because you're a ding dong. Because you're one step below Joe on OCD. That's why. is, yes, you will rip the fucking model open in the middle of the night one day sometime in the future and go, it's not painted.
Meanwhile, I just sit back and laugh.
Yeah, the problem is you're sitting in the middle of a room with nothing in it. And you're the only one there.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
normal. This is part of the course. Like I said, if we're not busting chops, something's wrong.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Photomorph, what's your name?
Mark.
Mark, okay. Dear God, man, you're almost coming up on 5 a.m.
Yeah, on YouTube I'm known as Sprue Surgeon.
Oh, okay. Roger Wilco.
Or other 4-letter acronyms. Depending on who you ask, obviously.
Oh, we've all got those fans.
Yeah, I have 6 regular ones.
Jeez.
Oh, now's a fine time to tell me that. I guess I don't need that part.
And what part would that be?
The brace for the engine. Which I glued together without a brace into it, and it looks just fine.
Okay.
I really need to go buy myself some more stock styrene strips or styrene rods. I predict there will soon be another run to the local model shop.
Why don't you just cut down some sprue?
Because it's going to be a pain in the ass to stretch the sprue and get it just the right diameter.
Okay.
This needs 0.8 millimeter diameter, 29 millimeter length.
Interesting.
Oh, I did have a rust. Son of a. Whatever you want to do, dude. Orange rust. You know, son of
Biscuit eater.
a. Huh? It was one of those. I need a specific color. I needed a rust. And I was like, ah, crap, I don't have one. I'm going to have to go get one. And I haven't been able to get to the store. And then I already blew past doing that part. And then I find, well, you've got dark rust, orange rust. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Really? I think I've hit that point in the program where it's like, now's the time when you stop working on everything because it's just going batshit crazy.
I'll be damned. That does go on there. I thought they had it upside down.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, ow.
You all right?
Yeah, I just moved my leg and my hip decided to pop.
That's always fun.
Ooh. Yeah, and Mick just figured out where all his spare 1 to 350 scale staircases went. Oh well.
Had you forgotten?
Well, I went looking for them a while ago for my Liberty ship. Now I need to locate the parts that I just dumped on the floor. Damn it. Luckily, none of them are really small, so they're really easy to find, but still.
Brought to you by the makers of 52 Card Pickup. We bring you, where the fuck did my photo etch go?
Take your socks off and start stomping on the floor.
Yeah, with these photo edge parts, I think not. Not even remotely worried about my foot.
Or in
If I
a
go
twist,
stomping on the floor, I'm going to have to unflatten a lot of stuff.
or in a twist to the Battleship game, you found my photo edge. A5.
Shit, it's in my foot, it's in my foot. Alright. Let that dry. Time for a refill. Strip steel leg. Okay, Mark, I gotta ask, right or left?
left. Why did I have to think about that?
Mine's the right.
I can't believe that.
Above or below?
Below.
Same. Okay, I will be right back.
Do you have other health problems as well, or is it just...
Oh, excuse me. Be right back. heartburn taken care of. Holy jeez.
Right, I better get this 3D printer running.
Okay, I'm back. Now, Mark, were you asking? I thought I heard you maybe asking me something before I was taking my headphones off before.
I believe he asked if you had any other health problems.
Sorry?
Where do I begin? One thing I don't have is diabetes. Let's see, heart condition, damaged nerves in the skull.
Yeah.
Fused neck, C4, C5.
No, don't have that.
Yeah, that was fun. Hospital after my accident that I was first sent to said, "Oh, you're fine, everything's fine." I kept telling them, "Nope, something's wrong." They sent me to a rehab hospital, who then proceeded to send me back there 2 days later when they found out through going to a MRI at another place that I was 3 millimeters from being dead because my spine was about to be, my spinal cord was about to be severed. So the look on their faces when I came back to go back into the exact same room I started in, yeah, priceless. Let's see, mid-back damage, hips, knees, gone. Lower lumbar, bottom 3 discs, gone. And a severe case of PTSD. You? Telling my wife about the styrene syndicate the other day, about the hangouts and everything we were talking about it, because Gil just sent me this wonderful, wonderful gift. And he had sent me this, probably one of the biggest Gundams ever made, the Psycho Zaku. And of course I'm gonna have to, part of it was, I have to build it, and it can't just sit in my stash forever. And I'm gonna make a whole video series on building it. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. But in the meantime, she's like, well, what does he do? I'm like, he's on disability. Oh, what does Mick do? He's on disability. Is everybody on disability? I'm like, pretty much. It's a prerequisite to get into the group.
This is what happens when you don't have anything to do anymore. You have to find something to do, or you go batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is true.
Mm-hmm. see, Joe, I could do a cutaway on this, but I couldn't do it justice because it's too small.
I do B-17s all the time. Those are 48.
Yeah, but this is too small. If I'm gonna put the time into scratch building all the equipment and everything else, I want to be able to see it. I don't want to put a block of square block of styrene on something. And go, look, it's a radio.
I know.
All right, let's let that dry. And then get it figured out. So,
Times like this, I wish I could have gotten a hold of my grandfather's jeweler's monocle when he passed.
okay. This is a cool little kit, though. I will say that. Very, very interesting.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I wish I had taken better care of my body when I was younger. No, the 1 to 200 scale Titanic's out for pre-order, and I can't sell my I can't sell a kidney or a lung or anything that I've got two of.
No, I can't put one careful owner down on mine either.
Oh, I can put one careful owner. I'd be full of shit, but I could put it.
One lady driver.
Only used on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm usually on Sundays after the mammoth drug session on the Saturday night.
Oh, there were some nights I could have made Keith Richards proud. I think it's funny that when he played Jack Sparrow's dad, they didn't need to use any age makeup. He's actually that haggard.
You know who I always think they should have had in there? Lemmy.
What's that?
They should have had Lemmy in there.
Well, it might be kind of hard now.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, guys, it's midnight here, so I'm going to shut off the live feed. And thanks for tuning in. It's been a while since I posted a live hangout on here because the last time I did, someone freaked out and ended up leaving the group. Anyway, you guys have a good evening, and thanks for tuning in. And we'll try to get some more live ones up without Gil having to get sick to prompt me to do it. So from everyone here at Styrene Syndicate, Red Dragon Model Works, and Tiny Admirals Models, thank you for signing in, and we'll see you all later.